Alright, so 28th of April 2021, and just going to get an update on these bamboos. One impressive thing I've seen is initially this dendrocalamus sinicus made this batch of shoots, and a lot of them got up to 10 to 11 feet. But within the last 3 weeks, maybe even closer to a month, it's made these shoots. You can kind of tell that it has all these new sheaths. There's one rising up right here, right around 3 feet. And it looks like this one right here might be the biggest one. It's nearly 1.5 inches in diameter. There might be more to come. This guy right here, it's right close to the top of the canopy. So one thing you can kind of tell, and what's gonna surpass the canopy is even up to about right here, even right around 6 feet, it's still about 1 inch in diameter. And right now it's right around 9 feet. So within a couple more days, it's gonna break out the canopy completely. But yeah, it's definitely going to the upsize, and I'm going to expect the biggest ones to probably get up to about 15 feet. As you can tell, there are more new ones. Even down here. I don't know how big these guys are going to get, but I'm hoping they might get even bigger. One thing cool about these is a lot of times when they just come up, they can keep on increasing in diameter. Well, this one right here, it's also another one that's pretty big. Not quite as big as the one that's rising out of the canopy, but it got destroyed right under 3 feet, so it's not going to reach its full potential, but I'm still going to leave it. Still good diameter. And I even have a few good ones on this side, like these 3 that are rising up. This one right here is currently right around 5 feet. While this one right next to it is getting close to 6 feet. And I got one right behind it, still rising, probably right at 10-11 feet. And just looking a little bit away from it, it's still a really tight clump, and it tends to be making shoots from within, not really expanding its clump. But every single time it gets a little bit too thick, sometimes I take off some of the little culms, which usually don't get any light anyway, just because it's such a tight clumper. It's dendrocalamus sinicus dragon bamboo, pretty cool. And move on to the dendrocalamus asper, which is right here. And I have to walk all the way up to the top of the hill just to get a good sight of it. As you can see, it's literally as tall as a house. These shoots, the right, probably close to 18-20 feet. They're definitely way above the canopy from last year. And these shoots in diameter, they're about 1.5 inches in diameter, but looks like they might still rise a little bit higher, especially the one that's closest to the house. As you can kind of still see that it's not losing its sheath all the way, and it's not making that zigzag pattern. Because usually when they're close to getting done, they start making that zigzag and they start losing the sheaths. Or they start to branch out. That's pretty impressive. I'm really impressed with this year's performance with this bamboo. And here's a closer up. As you can see, taking away these columns, it's really exploding with branches. And the nodes are well over a foot in length. And the main branch usually doesn't come out right away. But once it does, it's gonna be pretty big in itself. So it's possible to do air layers. There are so many branches on every single node. It's pretty impressive. One thing I've discovered on top of the big shoot, there was actually a smaller shoot. This one is only slightly bigger than the ones from last year. Way smaller than the initial 3 that rose from a couple months ago. And this guy, it certainly is bigger than the ones from last year, but not by a whole lot. Still at least an inch in diameter. And right now it's still right around 5.5 feet. So he'll probably still get over 10 feet, but I'm hoping I get some more big ones to rise, probably to even surpass these 3. And I did mulch it really well this spring, as you can kind of see on this side. And yeah, there's a whole lot of foliage. And that papaya tree, it's right between 9 and 10 feet, right at the top of its leaves. And you can kind of see how these shoots are way above it by a long shot. So yeah, it's getting pretty tall. It's getting close to 20 feet. And then moving on to dendrocalamus asper hitam, or black asper. And this one was put into the ground a little more than a month ago, when this new comb was still kind of leafless. But right now it's leafed out really well. And I actually applied glyphosate all around. And these bags around these kaolin coir trees to make sure they don't sprout out again. And it seems to be working. It's been over a month and I haven't seen any new growth from these guys. And I sprayed down the surrounding with glyphosate. Not a whole lot, but one thing that did happen was I did get a little bit of damage from here, but it seems like it's recovering, so yeah, it's not going to hurt it because I didn't directly spray the bamboo with glyphosate. And since this thing has been put in, it has put up 2 shoots. This one right here, which is 2.5 feet, and it's not really any bigger than the shoots that are already there. But then it's putting out this new one right here. And this one right here, it's close to an inch in diameter. It's definitely bigger than the branch from the regional branch division, and definitely bigger than the rest of the shoots. So I'll definitely be, it'll be exciting to watch to see how big this thing gets. I'm going to assume that it's probably going to reach to about 10 feet. But yeah, with 2 more combs, it's going to make this nice and thick. You know, probably within this year, before the end of this year, I'm going to say it's probably going to put out another 5 or 6 more. It'll probably get a little bit bigger, but I don't think it's going to make a massive upsize like the asper did this year, because one reason why I think this is getting so much bigger is because throughout the cooler season, didn't have too much motivation to sprout any massive shoots, and then once it warmed up again, all the shoots, just all the buds just activated, and there you go.